What is up, my beautiful peach? Today we are going to talk about, will you lose weight during a reverse diet? And if you are new to my podcast, welcome. I am so excited to have you here. I am very nerdy when it comes to all things macros and metabolism, and I've got so many podcast episodes all about what the heck is a reverse diet, how do we heal our metabolism. So this topic right here is going to be really based on, should you gain weight during a reverse diet? But if you have not listened to my episodes on what the heck a reverse diet is, please scroll on back through my episodes and find it, and you will learn. You will learn. So actually, you know what? Let me also start this episode with, I want to actually start here with an explanation of fat loss. So the goal here is like, will you lose weight during a reverse diet? Will you lose fat during a reverse diet? And I like to specifically say fat loss. Will you lose fat during a reverse diet? Because there is a massive, massive, massive difference between fat loss, weight loss, fat, and weight, okay? Fat is on our body, weight is what the scale says. The scale literally truly does not matter because there are so many factors that really affect the scale and affect the number on the scale. So you could have two people who are both 150 pounds, one who is a very, very, very lean body mass, the other who is not, but they are the same exact weight, okay? That's why we really get to pay attention to your body composition, and how you are feeling, fitting into your clothes, your energy, your strength, all of those pieces, rather than the number on the scale. The scale fluctuates all the time as well, okay? All the time. Now, what is fat loss? Fat loss is, let me actually also scoop my notes here. I want to make sure I have all these pieces. Okay, fat loss is the process where the body burns stored fat as energy when in a calorie deficit. Now, I want to preface, before I go any farther here, that simply eating less calories does not mean your body is just peeking around your body for those fat stores and like munching on it for energy. Not fully the way it happens, okay? And we're gonna get into that a little bit more, okay? This is also 100% a topic for another time, but I do not support things like, I am not a big fan of fasted cardio. People a lot of times think that fasted cardio means, okay, well, there's nothing in your body's gonna start dipping into those fat stores. Not quite true, my friend. A lot of times it actually leads your body to using and breaking down your muscle for energy. You want to make sure to get a meal in before your cardio. If you're doing cardio, we in BPM, I had somebody else who was talking to me about this. One of my clients, she was like, hey, fasted cardio, no cardio. She is starting her reverse diet, and we're actually doing a with reverse dieting, you can actually reverse out of your cardio as well. So if you're doing a lot of cardio, it's actually going to really, really tire out your body. Your body's going to be in burnout, not only through exercise, but also through a lack of food. So in reverse dieting, we're healing your body, healing your metabolism, and also decreasing the amount of cardio that you are doing. Most of my clients who are in a reverse diet, we actually get them down to absolutely zero cardio unless you actually enjoy it. I have a few clients who absolutely love their cardio. One who's training for a marathon, and one who's training for a half marathon, actually, which is really cool. So of course, like, I want you to do what you're going to enjoy, but a lot of clients come to me and they would rather do strength training. So that's like a swap that we really work on, and really being very, very strategic about actually decreasing that cardio. We, just like a reverse diet, we don't want to just cut it out, and we want to do it very strategic so your body's adapting to it and actually efficiently adapting to it in a way that we want it to. Reverse dieting is basically putting you back in the driver's seat and you get to be in control of your body, okay? Now, sometimes a calorie deficit does not work, okay? Sometimes it does not work. We're gonna get into that in just a second. One quick piece that I wanted to make sure I had it in my notes right here. I was like, I wanna talk about this really fast, okay? So stored fat is different than the fat that we consume. If you take a scoop of peanut butter and you put it in your mouth, it does not automatically just go smack down onto your body as fat. That is not the way our body works, okay? I still, to this day, I'm always just like, I wish that the fat macro was a different name than the fat on our body, because it's so confusing to people. And the diet industry makes it even worse. And I'm like, this is not the way this works, kids. This is not the way that works. So stored fat on our body is what we accumulate after being in a calorie surplus, after metabolic changes, etc. It is not from directly consuming fat, okay? Now, something important to note here is you literally could be in a calorie surplus from eating solely protein, and you would still gain fat on your body. That's why the carnivore diet is quite terrible. Not only because you are really giving your body some massive nutrient deficiencies, not to mention a lack of fiber, so you're probably a little bit on the constipated side, if we're being honest here. But when it comes down to it, if you aren't tracking the proper macros for your body, for your metabolism, it quite literally does not matter what diet you do, what you eat, it's not going to work unless you are paying attention to your macros and your metabolism, okay? Okay, so I'm feeling so goofy today. I don't know why, but I really want to touch this piece too. Some fat on your body is a good thing. Some fat on your body is a good thing, okay? I think that the diet industry is really horrible because it teaches women that they need to be as small as they possibly can, and I have been in that space in the past. As I am sitting here, I'm obsessed with my body, and also my belly rolls when I sit here, okay? I'm giving myself a hug here. Our body, I've got cellulite, our bodies are human. Our bodies are human, okay? And some fat on your body is a good thing, okay? So I want to talk through this. There can actually be a hormonal imbalance for people who are extremely low body fat, okay? It disrupts our hormone production. It makes irregular menstrual cycles. So amenorrhea, a lot of people lose their period in that sense if they're not eating enough, and they have too low of a body fat. For men, low testosterone levels, reproductive health, lots of different things there, but I don't have men listening to me, so we're not going to go down that path. Decreased energy levels. This comes not only from, and I think this is, so one piece here, sorry, total like two thoughts just came into my head at once. Almost all of these things can happen whether you have 50 pounds to lose or not, okay? If you are in a calorie deficit. Then when we add a very low body composition, it basically just makes it 10 times worse, okay? Decreased energy levels. So fat is one of our body's, it's a secondary source, so it's really good for hormonal balance first. Carbs are our first energy source, and then fat is our secondary. So we have a lot of chronic fatigue, reduced endurance. So, physical activities start to go down. You're like, oh man, I really am having a hard time making it through the gym. Back when I was eating probably honestly like 900 calories a day, I would go to the gym, I would spend 2 hours on the treadmill, and then I would come home and I would literally pass out on my little futon in college. I would literally just like fall asleep because my body was literally struggling that bad to keep me awake or to keep me like functioning, that it was like, I'm just putting her to sleep because we need to keep her breathing and we need to keep her heart pumping. My gosh, wait, that like really makes me sad. That like made my heart sad for a moment. I just want to give myself a hug. Give yourself a hug. If you need to give yourself a hug, I'm hugging myself and I'm air hugging you, okay? Now, weakened immune system. Body fat supports our immune system, okay? So it is supporting the production of immune regulating hormones, alrighty? Nutrient absorption, organ protection, temperature regulation, mental health, cognitive function, literally our brain health and function, temperature regulation in our body, mental health. I just said those two. I'm also skipping through a lot of my nerdy stuff in here. I've got I was like, oh my gosh, I really went really nerdy in this and like the systems and things. And I'm like, I probably don't need to go that deep right now. Muscle loss, weakness, like so many different things happen when we are in a low calorie deficit, and also if we do not have enough fat on our body, okay? Now bringing it back, because a lot of people do actually want to lose fat. Some people cannot lose fat when they are eating a very low calorie deficit. Say for example, 1200 calories that MyFitnessPal gave you. That is no good. We do not like our macros calculated from MyFitnessPal. If you have done a macro calculator where you just typed in your height, your weight, your age, or your activity and your activity factor, and it shot out a number. We don't want to do that. So please, if you go down below in the show notes, click the C. Schmidt, actually, I think it's just resources, but you can grab my C. Schmidt macro calculator, which will help you calculate your custom macros based on your metabolism, based on your goals, and it will help you determine if you are eligible for a calorie deficit, okay? Now, in reverse diet. Putting that out there too. Now, some people cannot lose fat when they are in a massive calorie deficit because they are going through what's called metabolic damage caused by metabolic adaptation. Now, I always like to preface this because literally metabolic damage sounds so absolutely awful. Sounds awful. It's like, oh my gosh, my metabolism's damaged. Yes, it does have some damage to it, but it is also fixable, okay? Metabolic adaptation. Metabolic means metabolism. Adaptation means adapting, basically meaning your metabolism is adapting to a prolonged calorie restriction and excessive dieting. It is slowing down to that lower calorie intake. So back in college, when I was eating 900 calories, my metabolism bumped on down to that 900 calories. I was not seeing any progress. Anytime I ate more than 900 calories, I would gain weight. Why is that? It's because our metabolism adapted to that lower calorie intake, okay? And you need to heal that metabolism, all right? This leads to metabolic damage, all those things I just listed, energy, mood swings, period, libido, all of those different systems being downregulated, hormones, all that jazz, okay? Our body and our metabolism puts the energy towards our vital functions, aka us breathing, our blood pumping, those different things. Back when I told you earlier in this episode, when I told you when I was in college, I would go work out and then I would literally just pass out on the futon. It's because my body was literally like, we literally can't do anything else right now. Put her to sleep. We need to focus on those vital functions, okay? Meaning, and this is a protective mechanism because your body literally doesn't understand whether you are intentionally restricting yourself or you're literally stranded on an island with no food. Your body has no idea that you are intentionally doing this to your body. So it is going to go into a protective mechanism to hold on to those fat stores and do its absolute best to keep you functioning, keep you alive. So you might have 100 pounds to lose, but if you're eating 1,000 calories, 1,200 calories, your body is going to say, sorry, my friend, I'm going to hold on to this because I'm not getting enough food. I don't know the next time I am going to get enough food, so I'm going to hold on for dear life, okay? And that's why reverse dieting is so freaking phenomenal because your body is going into a safe space again and it's saying, hey, okay, all right, I'm feeling good. Okay, I think I can trust you again. I think I can trust that you're going to give me food. And then it says, okay, we can start letting go of this fat. Okay, we can start going into this process, okay? And we're going to get into a little bit more of how that actually works and in how much fat you can actually lose through a reverse diet, okay? And I kind of talked about this, right? People think like, I'm eating 1,200 calories, I just need to eat less. And I thought that too, which is why back in college, I literally was like restricting down to 900 calories. Wait, I also have somebody in my reverse diet course who just hit 1,000 calories in her reverse diet. She started, I think, 500 calories. Oh, I'm so excited for her. I'm so excited for her. She is the sweetest human in the world. And I'm so excited. And she was so sweet because she's like, hey, Caitlin, I have your reverse diet course. She was a little bit nervous, and she did say I could share this, but she was a little bit nervous of sharing that she was eating 500 calories because she's like, this is embarrassing. I know how little this is. I'm miserable. And she was like, but I want you to know. And I'm like, I could cry. I wish I could give you a hug. I wish I could. And I just... reverse dieting changes your life. It really, 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 really does, okay? She was in my reverse diet course, which is my self-guided course that teaches you exactly how to reverse diet. And then I have my BPM coaching. So if you want the coaching, the accountability, we do weekly check-ins. You can talk to me on a daily basis. We have, in-depth conversations. I'm there basically to give you the comfort of knowing if anything happens, if life happens, like I can jump in. I like to have a pulse on every single one of my clients and in what is going on to make sure that I am 100% making sure you're going in the right direction, okay? I just wanted to celebrate her because I am so proud. I am so proud. Okay. Now, restricting is not going to help anymore because it's just going to push us farther and farther into that metabolic damage. But something to really note here is a lot of times people have been in a very low calorie deficit for like decades. And as we get older, we have muscle loss coming from the overall calorie deficit. And then also as we get older, our metabolic rate is going to be slowing down. We're going to see an overall, so I'm trying to say this like how not to get too nerdy here, but basically there's age-related muscle loss. Okay. So as we age, there's a gradual muscle loss. This also does accompany with a slower metabolic rate. Okay, so we basically have three different pieces going on here. So number one, we are intentionally putting ourselves into a calorie restriction. Okay, so we've got that number one here, going into a calorie restriction. We're forcing our body to not have enough food, okay? Number two, as we get older, we are slowly but surely, we're having a little bit of more muscle loss. So the way that we basically can go against this and support muscle growth is eating enough food, number one, which if we're not eating enough food in the first place. Okay, we're eating 1,200 calories. That's not going to help. Okay, so eating enough food, number one, but also strength training. Okay, so that can help that age-related muscle loss. And number three, we have a metabolic shift with our metabolism as we're getting older. So our shift is moving down. But then jumping in, if we're bringing in that number two of overall muscle mass loss and overall in a calorie deficit, less muscle, slower metabolism. So you literally have like a triple whammy as we are aging. And that's why it's so incredibly important to make sure we're fueling our body correctly and to do that reverse diet. So incredibly important, okay? And I have so many things that I want to say here. So one other thing too is like muscle cells require more energy to maintain compared to fat cells. So that's why when we have more muscle mass, basically the more muscle mass you have, the more your body's going to be burning at rest. Okay. I have so many notes. I must have gotten really nerdy in these notes because I have like so many different things in here, but I want to keep it, I don't want to get too nerdy here. Okay. So that's kind of cool. The more muscle you have, the more your body's going to burn at rest. So as we are like, okay, well, I just want to, restrict my calories further. I want to go from 1,200 calories to 900 calories. It's not going to benefit you. If anything, it's going to push you farther into a bad space. Okay. So this brings us to our need for a reverse diet. And the big piece about this is if you are in a space where you are eating low calories and you are not seeing results, you absolutely have to do a reverse diet. It is going to really, really test your instant gratification, but I can tell you without a doubt in my life, that was so weird. I don't know why it came out that way. Without a doubt in my mind, it will change your life, okay? It will change your life, okay? So it brings us to the big question. I feel like it took me a really long time to get here, but there was so much that needed to come before getting to this question. Can you lose fat during a reverse diet, okay? Can you lose fat during a reverse diet? And there are kind of two different scenarios here. The main goal with a reverse diet is not to lose fat during the reverse diet. It is to completely heal your body from the inside out. Heal it from the inside out. Get it to a place where it is no longer holding on for dear life to that fat that you do have. Get it to a place where it's thriving. I actually really encourage you to go listen to the previous episode, which is actually, will you gain weight during a reverse diet? Because I get into this a little bit more. Please go listen to that episode. It's such a good one if you have not listened to it yet. But essentially what's going to happen is we want to take you from that lower calorie place of 1,200 calories to that higher place above where your metabolism needs to be so your body's thriving. It doesn't feel like it's in starvation mode. It doesn't feel like it's holding on for a dear life. It doesn't feel like it is, only needing to focus on the vital functions and putting everything else to the side. It's actually functioning at the best. So a lot of times I do see clients as we are going through that reverse diet, they actually start to see changes in their body composition. When it comes to actual weight loss, the scale literally doesn't matter, but fat loss, you might see some muscle growth and some changes in your overall fat. So you have a little bit of a body recomp. This being said, the main goal is not to just drop 50 pounds. And also, if you're in a calorie deficit, you need to do a reverse diet because that'll take you from that 1,200 calorie place to that 2,000 plus calorie place to where you can just drop the weight without ever having to go into a calorie deficit that's insanely restrictive again. I have a client in BPM who is like 30 pounds down. She came to me eating, I think, close to 700 calories and had done literally all the diets. I think she might have been doing, I can't remember what she was doing when she came to me. I want to say keto, but I don't think it was keto. But she basically was at a point where she was like unwell mentally, just not, her quality of life was so low. It was impacting her relationships. It was impacting her kids. It was impacting her husband. Like she was just not in a good place. And I am so proud of her. I am so proud of her for reaching out and asking for help, because she is now, I'm so proud of her. She has taken, I would like to say like more than a 180, but that would like bring us back to the beginning. But my point here is she's a whole new woman. She's literally a whole new woman. So we got her intake up extremely, extremely, extremely high. We were close to like think she was eating like 2,700 calories or something, like crazy. We have just barely gotten to like, I don't even think we're under 2,000 calories. We might be like very close to it. She's down 30 pounds. She's feeling good. Like life is good. Like it is so important to, and when she came to me too, she was like, hey, Caitlin, like I want to lose weight now. And we had to have a tough love conversation and really explain, like, if you are in a calorie deficit and you are not seeing changes, we've got to do a reverse diet. We've got to do a reverse diet. Otherwise, you are prolonging your fat loss. You're going to be staying exactly where you are. You are, pushing yourself deeper into that space where you're lowering your quality of life. And you are so much more worthy than that. Like you are worthy and deserving of loving yourself in your life, and you get to put yourself first now so you can actually show up for those around you. Okay. So I think it's tough because, again, like kind of what I mentioned is some people do see that fat loss and that muscle growth. They do see that body composition. I do have clients who lose weight during their reverse diet, and it really depends on like what is going on with their metabolism, how their body reacts. That is not something that I can tell you, hey, your body is going to do X, Y, Z, because literally every single human in the entire world is going to be different. So yes, you might actually lose some weight during your reverse diet. You might see a body recomp. You might maintain the whole time, but the goal, you're going to go from a lower calorie intake to a higher intake. Your body is going to be so absolutely freaking thriving. And then you're going to go into that calorie deficit. It's going to be smooth sailing, and you are literally going to be so happy. So happy. Okay. So happy. Oh, I love my life because I just get to help women do this. And I've done it myself, and it's scary. And I get that it's scary. And that's why I love my coaching so much, because I can support you through it. So with all this was a loaded episode, but if you have not, please go listen to the previous episode, because it is it is wildly helpful, especially if you are thinking of doing a reverse diet, but you still have those nervous butterflies. And if you are thinking about doing a reverse diet, but you have those nervous butterflies, like I am happy to help you. I am so happy to help you, okay? Me as a coach, I get my clients' results right here and now. Like you will be having an amazing reverse diet. You will be thriving. You will know that you have me by your side. My BPM clients, we do weekly check-ins, so I can say, hey, Gabby, great, your macros are perfect, or let's go ahead and tweak things. We have daily communication. So if on a random Wednesday something comes up, I'm like, cool, let's navigate this. Like, let's figure this out, okay? And on top of that, so you're getting results now, but you're also learning the what, the why, and the how behind everything. So you actually automatically get lifetime access to my reverse diet course, as well as my nutrition academy that teaches you how to reverse diet, as well as calorie deficits, adjusting macros on your own, transitioning between deficit and reverse diet, and then also transitioning into intuitive eating when you have reached your goals. So BPM's kind of like the creme de la creme. So, you really have options. Either route, you have options to do that reverse diet. But if you want my support, please do not hesitate to reach out. I don't bite. If anything, I'll probably give you a hug, like a virtual hug. I'm here to help. So with all this, I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, beautiful peach.